Women's history has been left out, certainly in our textbooks, of course in classroom curriculum as well, and in many times it's been totally erased intentionally. Sometimes it's just overlooked, but usually we see women's history as a footnote or in the margins of the main stories.
If you look at what's taught in the standards of learning across the United States, only 15% of what's included is about women's history.
Students who are not being taught women's history are getting an incomplete education, period. By not including women's history in education, children get confused. They can't make sense of the world because what they're learning doesn't look like the world that they're living in.
The National Women's History Museum has been around for nearly 30 years and fills the gaps in history education on women's history by providing programmatics, exhibits, virtual experiences, in-person experiences around the country that tell the stories that have been left untold about women. We've always leaned in to being digital first, making sure that women's history and stories are accessible and available anywhere, anytime, 24/7. However, we're leaning into more and more exhibits across the country. The Museum-in-Residency program is something we started here in Washington, DC with the Martin Luther King Library.
The Museum-in-Residency program is unique in the museum space. We partner with cultural organizations across the country. We go into their space, we set up a physical exhibit. The exhibit stays up for 18 months. During that time, we're also co-creating programs with our cultural partner. Programs maybe that they have wanted to see enacted for a while, just didn't have the staff resources or perhaps even know-how to stand those up. After the 18 months, the exhibit comes down, but those programs remain.
The Faith and Freedom exhibit, which will be located at the Fulton County Library in Atlanta in 2026, is really studying the intersection of faith and feminism.
The inspiration for the exhibition was thinking about women's activism related to feminism and to different aspects like suffrage and civil rights, and thinking about how women sort of found the strength to do what they did. And one of the things that came up was faith and spirituality. And so the exhibition is exploring, what does faith do for women who are engaged in activism? Like, how does it support them? What tools does it give women? What sort of psychological safety may it give?
We're really answering the call of all of these wonderful women from generations ago. We're speaking with community members, organizations, and actually meeting them where they are. What works for your organization? What works for the kids in your organization? Past generations as well. What would they like to see?
The idea is to really activate the space at the library in a way that you're just feeling immersed in a subject matter and a storyline, and like hopefully you can find something that will inspire your own life and your own choices to going forward.
The point of layering interactive into an exhibit like this is to increase engagement, to give people more ways in, and to allow it to travel without expanding the physical footprint. Part of what's really important about accessing Gen Z and Gen Alpha is that they're digital first audience. The interactive tools we want to create are also going to supply them with material that they might want to share. It introduces the idea to other people and it creates a much more like organic form to share awareness around the exhibit and around the historic importance of this material.
The underrepresentation of women is not a women's issue. It is everybody's issue. And that's why we need your help to change the narrative.
She is Not a Footnote is a new cause campaign that we launched in March 2025. And the whole purpose of this campaign is to highlight the urgency of the underrepresentation of women. If half of our population is sidelined and not at the table solving some of our most important problems, we're all failing. And so She is Not a Footnote is a campaign to hopefully get all sorts of organizations to unite together and say, together we are in support of women and girls, and we all agree she is not a footnote.
Women's history isn't just about the past. It's about recognizing women's stories in real time, every single day.
It's really important to highlight the women that are out there today, that are making a difference, making an impact, and frankly, making history. We like to host Women Making History Awards every year, as well as highlight a number of profiles of women that are doing extraordinary things today. I would hope that learning about women's history and a more inclusive history in general would open so many people's minds to the possibilities of what has happened, what is happening, and what can happen, so that collectively we address the opportunities we're facing and the challenges as well.